Sally Forth is a daily comic strip created by Greg Howard in 1982 and distributed by King Features Syndicate, focusing on the life of a white American middle-class mother at home and work. Sally's name, and the name of the eponymous cartoon strip, is a play on words. To sally forth means to set out on an adventure. In 1991, Craig MacIntosh began doing the drawing. In 1999, Howard quit writing as well and turned the task of writing the strip over to Francesco, Marciuliano and Steve Alaniz. Jim Keefe took over the artwork in 2013 from Craig MacIntosh, with Marciuliano continuing to write even after Alaniz retired from full-time work on the Sally Forth product line. Characters: Sally and her family. Sally Forth, the main character, a 40-year-old marketing department manager with a husband and daughter. She wryly comments on the eccentric behavior of those around her. Ted Forth, Sally's hopelessly devoted husband, light-hearted with goofball tendencies. Born on Long Island, he is a perpetually 40-year-old white-collar professional working in strategic sourcing, but he was unemployed from May 2007 to May 2008. Ted has four brothers: Timmy, Tommy, Tate and Terry. He only seems to think outside the box, leading him into conflict with family and co-workers. Ted is obsessed with pop culture from his youth, are often making references to Star Wars and other science fiction from the era. People find Ted to be a refreshing and realistic portrait of modern fatherhood. For a long while neither his 10-year-old daughter Hillary nor the reader knew Ted's profession. Ted's job, strategic sourcing, was finally mentioned in the strip published on March 8, 2008. He becomes highly competitive while coaching girls softball. He despises his mother-in-law, who insults his masculinity, and his favorite food is meatloaf. Hillary Hill Forth, Sally and Ted's 12-year-old daughter. She is currently in the 7th grade, along with her best friend, Faye. She is very interested in music and sports. From late June 2011 to late August 2011, she developed a relationship with John, who was visiting for the summer. Despite having a long-distance relationship that lasted for 4 years, she eventually breaks up with John in early 2016. Following the breakup, Hill became despondent, but after some time decided to join a summer camp for the summer in order to brighten up. After arriving to the camp, however, she immediately felt out of place, even when Bree tried to cheer her up. After a moment of reflection, Hill decided to become more positive, if not responsible. Like many comic strips, Sally Forth employs a floating timeline, where time passes but most characters never age. In September 2014, Hillary observes to her mother that she was 12 when her cousin Bettina was born, and is still 12, while her cousin is turning 1 year old. Kitty, the Forth's cat, usually only seen in Hillary's room. Jackie Adams, Sally's younger sister, prone to juvenile behavior and in general a flippant, impulsive contrast to Sally's responsible personality. She married Sally's former boss, Ralph, in summer 2012. Originally, Sally was opposed to her sister marrying her former boss, but eventually came to accept the marriage. She later gave birth to a daughter, Bettina, in September 2013. Bettina Adams, Jackie and Ralph's daughter, born and introduced in strips of September 23 to 29, 2013. Sally has since then become overly proud of her new niece, which is hinted to have sparked a want for another child, something that Ted is dreading. It was revealed at Thanksgiving that Jackie named her daughter after the childhood pet cat, Laura, the mother of Sally and Jackie, who is very critical and high-opinionated of Sally, her family, and pretty much everyone else. She shows great joy in tormenting and berating Ted. She's often shown drinking wine. Her infrequent appearances are dreaded by all. Her boyfriend, Gerald, appears senile, rendering him incapable of socializing. Sally's workplace. Ralph Adams, Sally's former boss in human resources. Ralph is a caricature of incompetent and self-centered business leadership. Ralph was eventually fired and reduced to working at a fast food restaurant, but in 2006 returned to co-manage the department with Sally. In 2009, he became the sole manager of human resources while Sally became manager of marketing, which was staffed by several lazy, whiny employees who constantly challenged Sally. Sally suffers further anguish from Ralph in 2010 when he starts dating her sister Jackie. In April 2011, it was announced simultaneously that the marketing department would be closed. Ralph would become a consultant so he and Jackie could start a business, and Sally would return to HR as its sole director. Married Sally's sister in 2012, their engagement caused a rift between the sisters for a time as Sally didn't approve of the relationship. At age 63, he was about to become a father in 2013. Their daughter, Bettina, was born and introduced in the strips of September 23 to 29, 2013. Alice Sharples, an employee in HR and Sally's main confidant at work. Alice is sardonic, self-serving and romantically frustrated. After threatening to leave for 20 years, she finally did so, to Sally's chagrin in 2014. Alice made her reappearance on the July 1, 2015 strip for Sally's 4th of July party, sporting a new hairstyle and new eyeglasses. Jeff, Sally's blandly competent current boss. Cynthia Keys, a new employee who was introduced in the March 5, 2015 strip. Sally, upon rejecting several oddball job seekers for Alice's position, meets Cynthia and is satisfied with her resume and reasoning for finding a new job. For a time, Sally became rather worried that Cynthia is maybe a little too perfect to replace Alice and, if not hired, could find a job at a different company. In the March 20th strip, Sally has decided to hire her. Cynthia made her first job appearance in the April 8, 2015 strip. Both women seem to get along rather well, with Cynthia even attending Sally's 4th of July party in the June 30, 2015 strip. The April 10, 2015 strip reveals that she is an aunt to one of the girls on Ted's softball team and is astounded by his extreme competent behavior, much to Sally's discomfort. Other characters: Faye Simmons, Hillary's best friend as of the start of middle school. She comes from a less ideal family than the Forths, cultivates a somewhat rebellious image, and is often blunt to the point of rudeness with adults. She and Hillary started a band and later added Nona. At times, she and Hillary are at odds on certain issues. An example: at one point in 2014, when Hillary made a pop song, Your Party, Let's Go Dancey, Faye disagreed with playing the song and Hillary's ideas of becoming a commercialized mainstream band, leading Hillary to go solo temporarily. Later, both girls apologized and Hillary rejoined the band. Faye's mother, Mrs. Simmons, has also appeared in the strip. Nona, Hillary and Faye's classmate. She comes from a rich family and has a recording studio, indoor theater, and a guest house at her house. She also has a Wii system that can output high-definition video, a function unavailable on the actual device. She writes songs and claims she can play every instrument. However, Hillary and Faye are a little mixed about Nona due to her slight naive yet eccentric demeanor. To the dismay, Nona became estranged from Hillary Hillary and Faye in 2012, and, in 2013, had made new friends. She eventually reunited with Hillary and Faye during the summer after revealing her new friends only used her. Nona is also recently known to have the ability to read Hillary's, and later Faye's, thoughts. In the summer of 2016, when Hill leaves for summer camp, Faye believes that Nona has developed a crush on John since they began to realize they have a little more in common. However, it was revealed that it was John who developed a crush, but it appears Nona doesn't reciprocate. Aria, Ted's co-worker, referred to by Alice as his office wife, who seems to share Ted's enthusiasm for 70s and 80s pop culture. Much to Sally's consternation, John, a boy visiting the area for the summer of 2011, he is from out of town and met Hillary at an Independence Day picnic. After getting to know each other, John and Hillary became a couple. He returned for the summer of 2012 and spent more time with Hillary. During the summer of 2013, he returned to visit Hillary again. However, she started to worry that she was not spending time with her friends, but she still wanted to spend time with him. Fortunately, John still cared for her, thus setting her worries aside. In 2014, he experienced a growth spurt, which Hillary took a while to get used to. In 2015, Hill and John began to experience the relationship reaching an impasse, with hints in August and September that they would break up. During the winter, John was unable to visit Hill. In the January 16, 2016 strip, it was confirmed that they have broken up. He eventually comes back for the summer, hoping to patch things up with Hill, but was shocked to know she went to summer camp. While she's gone, he spends time with both Faye and Nona, which makes Faye uncomfortable. However, it was revealed that it was John with the crush, not Nona, and when he attempts to ask her out, Faye interrupts and both girls leave, not wanting to betray Hillary's feelings. Ted's parents, Ted's mother and father, whose visits or appearances on visits to them are dreaded by the fourths. Ted's father is a crass and chauvinistic husband who expects Sally to wait on him like his own wife and takes anything Ted says as an invitation to argue, while Ted's mother is a depressive, browbeaten homemaker who sees the worst in any given situation. There are also Ted's 4 older brothers who continue to harass him, similar to when they were kids. Recently, Ted got tired of the harassment and stood up to his brothers, during which it's revealed most of them took it out on Ted, due to the factor that while he's still happily married to Sally, the marriages have begun to crumble. Recurring themes. Sally has a quirky habit of eating the ears off of her daughter's chocolate Easter bunnies. Hillary annually schemes to hide her bunny but usually fails. As a result, Hillary loses bits of her sanity while Sally reacts indifferently and with no remorse. The fourth family has long dreamed of taking a vacation in Paris and has been on the verge of departing several times, only to have some unexpected tragedies or complications stop them. The family even mentioned this unfortunate dilemma at times when they face a similar outcome. Hillary, with her 2 best friends, Faye and Nona, has a band that produced the original and bad remixes of Your Party, Let's Go Dancey, much to the dissatisfaction of Faye and Hill's parents, though Ted wholeheartedly supports her endeavors. Several strips in 2006 and 2007 alluded to the fact that no one really knew what Ted's job was. I metatextual reference to the often vague nature of comic characters' employment. After his layoff, Hillary frets that they will never know the truth. On March 8, 2008, Ted mentions for the first time that his job was as strategic sourcing, a procurement initiative run by several Fortune 500 companies. Almost every autumn, the fourths usually venture into a corn maze and get hopelessly lost. To make matters worse, they face embarrassment from being saved and even contemplate on attending the maze every time. Ted coached Hillary's all-girls softball team, which is so bad that it rarely, if ever, wins a game. The team performed so poorly that Ted once made a wild promise that they would go on a trip to Walt Disney World if it won the league championship. However, he expected not to have to follow through with the promise. Though personally enthusiastic, Ted seemed to have fatalistically accepted the team's losing streak and took to giving pre-game pep talks made up of equal parts exasperation and stream of consciousness rambling. One talk featured a quote from The Godfather. Because of this, Ted was discouraged from coaching the team during the 2008 version of the storyline. In 2011, however, the team did win the championship for the league, which Ted overreacted, enjoyed that he finally accomplished something. Afterward, up until 2016, the team was back in the cellar of the league, much to Ted's dismay. In the 2016 summer, the softball team won the second championship. Although Hill was not with the team since she was away at a summer camp, nevertheless, Ted was grateful to see Hill return. Another part of this recurring theme is that the girls on the team mentioned the parents' negative opinions of Ted's coaching, which Ted reacts rather harshly towards, while Hillary either tries to intervene or just doesn't bother. Ted sometimes appears aware that he is in a comic strip, making vague references to the floating timeline they are in, and occasionally seeming to break the fourth wall and address the reader directly, to the complete confusion of all the other characters. In 2015, other characters have pondered about their existence in a strip and its plot. Books